So Lisa Mondy is shark bite survivor, and she was actually really keen to be here tonight. She subsequently emailed us her story so she could still be part of this evening. So firstly, my sincere apologies. My sincere apologies for not being able to attend tonight. I was very much looking forward to hearing everyone's thoughts tonight and being part of the discussions. As somebody who has suffered greatly at the jaws of a great white shark, both sides of the cull debate are close to me. In 2011, I was wakeboarding with some workmates at Jimmy's Beach, New South Wales, on a picture-perfect day in crystal clear water. I had just come off my board and I was swimming back towards it when a 4-metre shark came straight up from the bottom. It hit me hard, wrapping its huge jaws around my arm and head and swinging me about above the water. It then took me down underwater but let me go after realising I wasn't lunch. My friends raced to help, but I was in deep trouble. I nearly lost an arm and I lost a lot of blood. Thankfully, they pulled me from the water. I was rushed to hospital and was very, very lucky to survive. Since the incident, I've thought a lot about that shark and the public response to what had happened. People were fascinated. The media went nuts. In fact, at times, their frenzy was scarier than meeting that shark. Incidents with sharks are so rare, but they seem magnified by our primal fear of them. As a result, stories like mine make the headlines. Yet, ironically, sharks would have to be the most misunderstood group of species on the planet. So my family and I have felt and understand the physical suffering and emotional trauma that these rare occurrences cause, and I can only imagine the devastation of those who have lost loved ones. There is a lot of emotion surrounding this debate, and I would not dismiss or undervalue those emotions. I can understand the reaction of governments when they think that something needs to be done for public safety, but culling sharks is not the answer. We need to honour people's emotions, but keep it in perspective and take more account of the science. As well as still feeling the trauma of that day, I also know how fragile and threatened our ocean's ecosystems are, and I know how important sharks are to maintaining their balance. Without a healthy population of sharks, the marine ecosystem goes haywire. The science is clear on this. What's more, culling sharks works on the principle that less sharks means less run-ins with people in the water. If this theory was correct, we would be experiencing far less of these incidents now that around 75 million sharks are killed every year throughout the world's oceans. There is no evidence to say culling sharks will make beaches safer, but there are other safer ways that will. I've spoken to a lot of other shark bite survivors, and every one of them maintains a deep respect for and connection to the sea, admiring the creatures within it and harbouring no hard feelings. Culling sharks amounts to punishing a species for a random, probably mistaken act of nature. Targeting a protected and vulnerable species takes us way past the boundaries of common sense. It's an emotional backlash, not a scientific response, and the results are indiscriminate. For instance, nobody believes small tiger sharks and bull sharks were responsible for WA's recent attacks, and yet these are the creatures being caught and shot. This looks more like unfocused vengeance, not a cool-headed action with a scientific basis. With so many baited hooks set on drumlines, other species like dolphins, turtles, whales and seals are at risk, not to mention the likelihood that all this meat in the water makes swimmers less safe. It would seem that even the perpetrators of these drumlines admit to this, with the WA Barnett government agreeing to have the drumlines removed ahead of the Rottnest Channel swim a few weeks ago for the safety of swimmers. The cull destroys marine creatures without increasing human safety. This is not the sort of management most Australians want for our seas. I think a lot of people are actually unsure of exactly what drumlines and gill nets are and how they work. They are not designed as a barrier, they are designed to kill. People may be swimming at netted beaches believing that no sharks can get in, but in fact, up to 40% of the sharks are entangled on the beach side of the nets. I can't stress enough how important it is for people to understand the truth about these shark control systems, mitigation strategies, instead of harbouring misinformed opinions. It's fantastic that tonight you have the opportunity to listen to Chris Neff, as he will be able to clear up a lot of misconceptions surrounding shark incidents for you. And I'll leave that in his and the other panellists' very capable hands. As a survivor, it upsets me to see this wasteful and dangerous cull continue. I bear the scars of an encounter with a great white. It's been a long road back from that day and the trauma still lingers. But I don't think a cull like this is the way to make people safe, nor is it a responsible way of managing our marine environment. The question I'm most often asked is, why do I want to save the creature that almost killed me? Well, I've always loved sharks and spent a lot of time explaining to people that sharks are just misunderstood and don't deserve our fear and disrespect. I've watched them swimming peacefully in the wild while snorkeling and from boats. Now I'm among very few that have been that close to a great white shark and walked away, and in a way that makes me feel a little privileged. My feelings towards sharks haven't changed, but now I have the means to reach out to more people. I can't change what happened back in 2011, but I can use it to try to change what happens in the future. With millions of sharks killed every year, they've got millions more reasons to be more scared of us than we have of them. Thank you, Lisa.